Hello and welcome to another Session 0 for Season 4. I'm here with new cast members. It's Amanda and Abby. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
All right, so we talked a little bit about what you guys wanted to make off screen. And before we go any further, let me just say thank you to our patrons, DoD Spec Ops and Tricky Troy, for the generous supply of Coke Zero. All right, proceeding along. So, Amanda,
Yes.
you have decided that you wanted to make something. What do you want to make? What race are you?
So I'm a tiefling, and I'm rogue. I'm a rogue assassin specifically.
Yes. And Abby, what are you going to be making?
I'm going to be a wood elf, but a wizard wood elf. Or no, a druid wood elf.
A druid?
A druid wood elf.
Yeah, we were a little bit on the
Yeah.
fence about that. But and neither one of you guys have played D&D before, so this will be a learning curve, which is my happiness. So in front of you, you should have 4 D6s. What you're going to do, each one of you guys are going to roll all 4 of those. And you're going to read me off the numbers. I'm going to write everything down. And then you'll get a chance to go back and re-roll a couple of those that you choose from. And I will help guide you to make your character amazing.
Beautiful.
All right, so Abby, you roll first.
Okay.
And tell me the numbers.
1.
6, 6, 1, 1. Yikes. That could be very good or very bad. Amanda, roll.
You didn't blow on them.
3, 3, 2, 2.
3, 2. Oh yeah.
That
Whoa.
is great. All right, go. Both of you, keep going.
Oh.
Just read me the numbers. Next set. We're going to be doing this 6 times.
4, 4, 2, 6.
And then I have 2, 6, 3, 5.
Okay?
5, 3, 2, 1.
And then 6, 3, 5, 4.
Okay. Next.
3, 2, 2, 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then 6, 6, 2, 3.
Okay. 2 more. Keep going. The higher, the better.
3, 3, 3, 1.
That would not be as high as you would hope for, Abby. Go ahead, Amanda.
3, 1, 4, 1.
Ooh, that might win as being the possibly worst roll ever. All right, go. Last one.
3, 2, 3, 2.
1, 1, 1, 2.
Oh my god. Okay, so here's how this works. In my game, not normal D&D. In normal D&D, you just roll the dice, you take the best 3. In my game, I will let you go through these sets, and based on what you rolled, I will let you choose 2 different sets that you can re-roll that have 1s in them. And if you choose a set to re-roll 1s, you get to re-roll the 1s until they are not 1s. So just as an example, let's say Abby's like, oh, clearly I need to re-roll these, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a 6, 6, and then you re-rolled those 2. So go ahead and roll 2 of these
Okay.
dice, and you want to roll high. 6, so that becomes a 6. Re-roll that just
Okay.
for giggles. 5. Okay, so now you have 3 6s, which is the highest you could actually roll. You take the
Wow.
best 3. Okay, now you get to choose another one. So 5, 3, 2, 1 or 3, 3, 3, 1. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Smart move. Okay, re-roll 1 of those. 1 die.
2.
Okay, 2. Rip. So not bad overall. We'll add those up in a minute. All right, Amanda.
All right.
You literally only have 2 rolls, 2 sets that have 1s in them. So re-roll 2 of the 1s from the 4, 3, 1, 1.
All right.
Okay,
6
so
and
1 becomes a 6 and 1's another re-roll because it was a 1 again. Keep re-rolling until it's not a 1. 4. That is significantly better. Okay, now your last set was the ridiculous 1, 1, 1, 2. So re-roll 3
Alright.
dice. Okay.
4, 6, 1.
6 and a 4 and a 1 again, so re-roll that 1.
4.
Yay, fortune smiles upon you. Okay, so now what we do is we take the highest 3 from each roll. So that becomes an 18. Yay. This becomes 6 and 4, that's 14. 5, 3, 2 is 10. That's okay. 5, 3, 2, 10. 3, 3, 3, 9. 3, 3, 2, 8. Okay, so you have 1 mighty roll, Abby.
Okay.
And 1 above average roll, 2 average rolls, and 2 less than average rolls, which is pretty much normal. Then, Amanda, we have 332, which is also 8. We have 653, which is 14. We have 654, which is 15. We have 663, which is 15. We have 644, which is 14. And then we have 644, which is also 14. So, you could see by that spread, right, that Amanda's rolls are basically all a little bit higher, but she has one low roll. Abby has that 18, which kills, a 14, and then average rolls and lower than average rolls. So it's basically about the same spread. Okay, so where do we put these?
Except mine is better.
Yeah,
Shut
well,
up.
slightly.
Shut up.
Okay, so let's start off with your race. So every race gets bonuses, right? So you choose, if you chose an elf, you get a bonus of 2 to whatever you put in your dexterity, which is
Okay.
good. And then as a wood elf, you get a bonus to your wisdom score of 1. So looking at your scores, being a druid, wisdom is your main thing for spells, but dexterity is also super important for survival.
Ooh. Okay.
Any thoughts on that?
Well, I think I definitely need wisdom. 'Cause
Yes. So if you put the, let's say you put the 18 into wisdom, that becomes a 19. So what you're going to do in this big box is write 19.
Okay.
And then, so that uses up that. And then the 14 you put into dexterity, that becomes a 16. So
Okay.
write that. Then you have a 10, 10, 9, 8. So the other rolls are strength, constitution, intelligence, and charisma. Strength is your physical strength, right? Dexterity is like your speed and agility. Constitution's like your endurance, your health overall. Intelligence is your intellect. Wisdom is kind of your instinct. And then charisma is basically the force of your personality. Some people think that charisma is like how beautiful you are. It's not. There's no stat for that. You decide what your character looks like. Charisma is more like how persuasive you are. So you can choose to put these wherever you want, but you're going to put a 10, 10, 9, and 8 in all those other boxes. Now, where do those other things come in? Constitution factors into your hit points, but at 10, it's not a bonus or a negative. It's just a bonus of 0. It's a modifier of 0. Strength would come in anytime you're doing combat with like hand-to-hand, like melee combat. That affects your ability to hit and to do damage. But with a 16 dexterity, it'd probably be smarter for you to do stuff involving like attacks that are ranged or attacks with lightweight weapons. Like daggers and short swords and stuff like that. Which leaves 2 what we call dump stats, 9 and 8. So with a dump stat, it basically means that like that's kind of your character's thing that they're not as good at. Makes sense? Which is something that's realistic because everyone has something that they're not really good at. So you think about where you want to put those. Now, Amanda, you are making a rogue, and rogues above all need dexterity. But you need to decide beyond just dexterity and being sneaky and stealthy and fast, what else do you want your rogue to be able to be? Because if you go the route of assassin, do you want to be charismatic and be deceptive and be like you mentioned off camera, like being able to like pass yourself off as someone else and be a spy?
Well, yeah, of course that's appealing to me. I want to be able to do stuff like that, but also like intelligence, you know, like you want to be able to make smart decisions.
Yes. And fortunately for you, you have some mid-range roles that can turn into good things for you. So tieflings actually get a natural bonus to their intelligence and to their charisma.
Okay.
So just like Abby got a bonus to dexterity and wisdom, tieflings also get a bonus. So their bonus is charisma and intelligence. So if you put a 15 into intelligence, that actually becomes a 16.
Okay.
So go ahead and write that into your intelligence box, 16.
I love that for us.
Okay, so we'll cross that off. Of course, dexterity is going to be important for you too, right? So you get your next highest roll. Okay, so you got a 15 and several 14s. Well, you probably want a 14 in charisma because that is boosted by 2.
Okay.
So go ahead and
So
put
16?
put 16 into charisma. That'll burn one of your other 14s. This leaves your dexterity. So I would say probably put 15 into dexterity.
Alright.
14 into, what else do you have? Wisdom?
Wisdom, Constitution.
And Constitution. Strength is probably your least important thing, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because you
It's
are...
all about like stealth and
yes,
stuff.
and even
know?
when you attack in hand-to-hand, kind of like Abby, you're going to be using more finesse weapons. You're not using like big soup, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're using
Yeah.
like knives and short swords and rapiers and stuff. Or, bing, you're shooting. So
Heck yeah.
either way, dexterity is going to be more important. So you could probably put your dump stat of 8 into strength.
Alright.
And then the other 14 into wisdom and constitution.
Alright.
Okay, back to you, Abby. Did you figure out where you're putting the
yes.
rest of your things?
Yes, I put 8 in strength,
Mm-hmm.
10 in constitution, 10 in intelligence, and 9 in charisma.
Good. Well
You're doing
done.
awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so among other things, though, you each get some racial benefits. And what I'm going to do is kind of read those off with you / for you. So we'll start on the other side. So, Amanda, tieflings have a nice thing called dark vision. So in this long column, just write dark vision. Don't write too big because you're going to have a lot of crap to write down. Dark vision, colon, 60 feet. So what that means is you can literally see in
See
the
in the
dark.
dark?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Up to 60 feet. The next thing that you have is called hellish resistance,
Ooh, what does that mean?
colon. You have resistance to fire damage. So what resistance in this game means is that if somebody does a fire attack against you, and it would, it would do 6 damage on you, it would do 3. You take
Okay.
half damage if you have resistance, which is dope.
Wait, so it's Glen Cohen what?
Put down resist to fire.
Oh, okay.
Okay, in the bottom left corner where it says other proficiencies and languages, right down there, write down languages, colon, common, and infernal. Infernal is the language of demons.
Okay.
Because tieflings have like that descendant bloodline from the infernal, they kind of get that. Okay, there's one more thing that you get, but it's related to spells, and I'll explain that to you later because it's boring.
Okay.
All right, now, Abby, we flip over to the land of elves.
Okay.
So in your thing, you have some nice elf benefits as well. You also have dark vision.
Yes.
So dark vision to 60 feet,
Twins. Let's go.
and then under that, write down keen senses.
Ooh.
So all elves have proficiency in the skill of perception. So what that means is, in this box are all the different skills. So where it says perception, just fill in that circle.
Okay.
And I'll explain how that works. But basically, it's like a free skill,
Okay.
okay? Because they're like in nature, they're just like more perceptive. All right, Fey Ancestry, colon. Just put down ADV, that means advantage, versus charm and sleep magic. And actually, that's not accurate. Magic can't put you to sleep. So if somebody casts a sleep spell on the group, everybody else has to make a save against it. You're just like, nope.
Oh.
You just nope that.
Okay.
Like, that's not happening. Here's another thing. Trance.
You
Trance.
like hypnotizing?
Elves don't sleep.
Ooh.
They don't. They
Good.
just trance. So for a normal character to get what's called a long rest, you basically have to rest for like 8 hours, or sleep for 6 hours and then rest for 2 hours. Elves do that in 4 hours, and they don't actually sleep. It'd be like if you were like,
I mean, that's basically what I do anyway.
yeah.
So.
So you basically trance. All right, now languages down there.
Uh-huh.
You have Common and Elvish. Elvish. Oh wait, there's more. As a wood elf, you have proficiency with long swords, short bow, and long bow. So druids don't normally have proficiency with some of those things, but you do because you're an elf. Also, maybe more importantly, is fleet of foot. Your base walking speed is 35. So up here where it says speed, write 35.
I'm
Amanda,
PH.
your base walking speed is 30. 30 is the normal base walking speed for like medium-sized humanoid creatures. Short people walk at 25. You walk at 30. She walks at 35.
Nice.
The best.
Then this is
Obviously.
the best. Mask of the Wild. You can attempt to hide even when they're only lightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain, falling snow, mist, or other like fog.
Okay.
So like if you wanted to make like a stealth check and hide, normally you'd have to like, I hide behind a tree, I hide behind some rocks. You could just be like, I go into the fog.
Okay.
Or it's
So
raining.
cool.
That's it. Like that's all you have to do. Just light coverage and you could just be like and just camouflage.
Nice. I'm basically a chameleon.
Yes, sort of. So write down Mask of the Wild, just somewhere in your features there. Okay, so that's all the race stuff, right? Now we're gonna move on. So, druids. So Abby, you're gonna turn to page 64. And Amanda, you're gonna turn to page 94. Okay, so druids get a whole bunch of cool things. So you guys are fast forwarding to 6th level. So the first thing is up there where it says proficiency bonus, write down +3. Same with you, Amanda. +3. Okay. Next up on the platter is hit points. Okay, hit points is basically how much health you have, how much damage you could take before you're knocked out and or killed. So for druids, it's a D8. For the first level, you get 8 hit points. Second level, you'd roll a D8. Third level, you'd roll a D8, and you just keep adding it on. In my campaign world, I give the max until or through 5th level, but after that, you have to roll. So, at 4th level, you get an ability score improvement. So does Amanda, which means you get to add 2 to one of those ability scores. So look at your ability scores right now.
Okay.
And actually, I think you could put 1 in one and 1 in another, or you could just put 2 into something. So for you would probably want to put 1 into wisdom to get it up to 20, and then 1 into charisma to get it up to 10.
Yeah.
And that means you don't have a penalty in charisma. Now you, Amanda, you have a bigger choice to make because you probably want to put 2 into dexterity to have a higher dexterity.
Okay.
So that's 17. Yeah. And that'll all make sense. So you see those little circles underneath each one of your things?
Yeah.
You get what's called a modifier based on the number that you have. And the modifier is what adds into or subtracts from any skill use or weapon attack or things that involve that modifier. So we'll do yours first. So Abby, you have a -1 in strength.
Okay.
Because rip. But you have a +3 in dex.
Ooh, okay.
0 in constitution, because that's just nothing. 10s are 0s. 20 is +5.
Okay.
That's the highest you can have, and then a 0. Same with you, -1 in strength. +3 for your dex. And then what do you have for constitution?
14.
That's +2. So any 14s are +2. +3 for 16s.
Alright, that's it.
Okay. Cool. So that'll make more sense when we get into the skills. Your initiative, which is this, that's based on your dex modifier. So you'd have a +3, you would have a +3 also. So you can write +3 into initiative. Initiative is when you go into combat, everybody at the table has to roll a d20. That's initiative. And it's just the order in which people go, right? So that's a natural 20. So you'd be like, oh, I have a 23. And then you'd roll your d20 and be like, oh, I have a 6 + 3 is 9. So then everybody goes around, and even the monsters or whatever you're fighting has to roll initiative.
Okay.
So that's how that factors in.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back to hit points. So your hit points are going to be 1d8, and it's the same for rogues, each level, plus your constitution modifier. So what's your constitution modifier? 0?
0.
Okay, so yours is 48. So your maximum hit points up here, you're going to rate 48 and
Okay.
just like draw a box around it. And then what's your Constitution modifier?
I don't. 2?
2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
2.
So then at 6th level, you're going to have 60. 10 times 6.
There. You put in one thing.
Good. Okay, so then let's go through the rest of this. So, Abby,
Yes.
at 1st level, you get the language of Druidic, so you get to add that in, which is basically a special language that only Druids get.
Okay.
Your features are Wild Shape, and then you get to choose a Druid circle, and off camera we talked about Circle of the Moon,
Yeah.
right? So write down Circle of the Moon under that, and I'll explain like how that works. Now, for normal Druids at 4th level, you'd get a Wild Shape improvement. You get that already, so yours just goes up even more. And then at 6th level, you get a Druid Circle feature. So let's go to your Druid Circle.
Okay.
So, okay. So, Circle of the Moon, Combat Wild Shape. When you choose this circle at 2nd level, you gain the ability to use Wild Shape on your turn as a bonus action. So, in other words, normal Druids to turn into like any other animal, they'd have to like take a full action. You could be like, I turned into a bear and run and attack.
Okay.
So in every round in this game, you get to move, you get an action, and you get a bonus action. So normal Druids would have to like move and then turn into something. You could be like, bonus action, I turned into a wolf, and then I run up and I bite something.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. Additionally, while you're transformed, you can use a bonus action to expend 1 spell slot to regain hit points. So you can actually heal yourself burning a spell slot if you transform into something. Your circle forms. You actually, you can use your Wild Shape to transform into a beast with a challenge rating as high as 1. Starting at 6th level, you can transform into a beast with a challenge rating as high as your Druid level divided by 3 rounded down. So what you need to write down is circle form CR2. And I'll explain what CR2 means, but basically that's like a lot more powerful creatures. Okay. And I'll give you like a whole list. Now here's your 6th level power. Starting at 6th level, your attacks in beast form count as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage. So some monsters can't be hurt by normal weapons because they have like resistance to non-magical weapons. So if you turn into a creature in your beast form, your claws or bite or whatever it is that you're attacking with, your fangs, are basically considered magical.
Okay.
Okay, so write down Primal Strike.
Okay.
Can she turn into like the beast that is being fought?
If it's the same challenge rating, that's what CR means, challenge rating. So if you're fighting something that's CR2 or less, you could turn into that beast.
Okay.
There you
Okay,
go.
so you are pretty much done with the special power things. You do have spells, but I'm gonna cut over for a minute just to get Amanda caught up.
Okay.
The other thing we do is we talked about backgrounds off camera. So what I'm gonna do for you while I'm getting Amanda caught up is actually have you read through the backgrounds so you can pick out your background.
Okay.
Wizard. All right, so starting here, these are the different backgrounds. Acolytes like the Temple one, Charlatan.
Okay.
You talked about maybe Entertainer.
Yeah.
All right, so read through that because that gives you like information about what you get.
Okay.
All right, Amanda, ready?
Yeah.
So you got your hit points, right?
Okay.
We're gonna do skills in a minute, but let's go through your powers.
Power.
So you have on that column of your notes on the bottom right, write down sneak attack, 3d6. So that means that when you surprise an opponent or you flank an opponent, like one of your friends is fighting a monster and you get up on them, when you attack, you do an extra this many dice of damage.
Oh, okay.
So like, let's say you're like, oh, I stab it with my rapier. You hit. All right, how much damage would they normally do? 7 plus all that.
Nice.
So it's kind of cool.
So some powerful attacks.
Yes.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
But you also get cunning action. So bonus action for dash, comma, disengage, disengage, comma, or hide. So the way that works is, remember how I said everybody gets like a move, an action, and a bonus action? Normally, to disengage, like to move back from an opponent without getting attacked, or to hide, or to make a dash, would cost you your whole action. You get to do that on a bonus action.
Oh, okay.
So like if somebody's here and they're trying to get to there, they would normally have to burn all of their movement. You could be like over here and be like, I'm gonna go ahead and move and then dash and then stab him.
Nice.
So you get, it's like, it almost gives you like some extra boost.
Cool.
Okay, then at third level, you get your assassin. So I'm gonna read off what that gives you. So on the bottom left corner, under languages, I'm gonna have you write this down. These are extra things that you get. Thieves' tools.
Ooh,
So what that is not the tools themselves, but you're proficient in using thieves' tools.
Okay.
Those are like the lock picks and things that people use to like pick locks or disarm traps or open up like a chest. So you're proficient with them. That means you know how to use them. But as an assassin, you get more. So under thieves' tools, write down disguise kit,
Oh, nice.
which again means that if you have a disguise kit, like you are proficient. You could put on like, I'm gonna put on a fake nose and a wig and a cape, and you like pass yourself off as somebody else. And
We can
underneath,
stack on top of each other in like a big trench coat
Yes.
and be so cool. We can
Yes.
sneak
And
into
then
places.
we can hide in the rain together.
Yes.
and then underneath disguise kit, you get poisoner's kit. So as an assassin, you are also familiar with the different kinds of
Oh
poisons.
my god, and then you are like a chef, right? Like you make food.
Yeah,
So like
So you
we
can
can
poison people?
Yes.
murder.
Absolutely.
So you get those proficiencies. Now, here's the next thing. Back to your big column of notes. Write down assassinate, colon. ADV, which means advantage, on attack against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Period.
because they're supposed to attack. Like they also
Right,
get
so
to
what that
make a
means
move,
is-
right?
And there's more to it. So, period. The second part is surprise equals crit.
Crits.
Crit, C-R-I-T, which is critical. So what that means is
Okay.
this. When you roll an attack, if you roll a number 16, you add in all your modifiers, and that determines whether you hit or not. If you roll a 20, where's the 20? If you roll a 20, that's considered a crit. And a crit means if you're rolling for your damage, you don't actually roll your damage. You get the maximum on the die plus another die. So like, let's say there's some bad guys, right? You win initiative, you attack them first. If you hit, it's considered a critical. So you would max out the first 8, you'd roll that, and then you'd roll 3 more.
Cool.
That's why assassin is assassin.
Gotcha.
Okay, so those are the main powers that kind of get you caught up to speed. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one massively awesome thing. Did I have you write down uncanny dodge?
No.
Write that down.
Please enlighten me.
Reaction equals half damage. So the way that works is, let's say that I'm a monster and I'm attacking you, and I hit you. You could be like, I'm going to use uncanny dodge. That means you're
I
using
would
a
get
reaction,
half of their...
and all of a sudden, instead of me doing 12 damage, you only take 6.
Nice.
You can only do that once a round, but basically it's like you're like so fast because you become so skilled in like your assassinish ways. So that's like another cool feature of being a rogue.
Nice.
Okay, now let's go to backgrounds and then we'll pick your skills because every class gets to pick skills. So, Abby, what have you settled on? Did you go with charlatan, entertainer?
I want to be an entertainer. For
Okay.
Sure.
So on your sheet,
Okay.
you're gonna write down entertainer. Now you'll notice that entertainer comes with some things. So it says skill proficiencies, acrobatics, and performance. So you're gonna put a little dark circle by acrobatics and performance. You will also write down under there disguise kit. So like Amanda, you have a proficiency with disguise kits, obviously for different reasons, because she uses it for murder. Also, one type of musical instrument. Now, what kind of entertainer did you want to be?
I was thinking a fire eater.
Okay. So instead of the musical instrument, we'll sub that with like fire eater kit. So write that down. So basically it's probably like, some oil and you have some different stuff that's part of your fire eater kit. Okay. Then you get a bunch of free equipment. Instead of the musical instrument, you get the fire eater kit, costume, a pouch containing 15 gold. Okay. So down here, guys, is the money.
Okay.
PP is platinum pieces. That's the most valuable. Platinum is the most valuable. Then gold, then silver. Then electrum, then silver, then copper. So you get 15 to start off with. So write down all this other stupid equipment. And then feature. You can summarize this however you want, but basically it means like when you perform, you can earn money. So just write down feature by popular demand. Okay, and then write this stuff down. All right, Amanda, you had talked about a background.
Yes.
Which background did you want to do?
I don't know. I didn't get to look.
You were thinking about maybe a secret background that other people didn't know about.
Yes.
I like that idea.
I thought that would be very.
Now the question is, you could pick any background that could be secret, and people don't know about it. Do you want to have a background that's like you're secretly like a noble person, but people don't know that?
You see, that's what I was thinking. Since I'm descendants of like, like sort of demon, and stuff like that. It'd be cool, maybe.
Maybe the nobles threw you out.
Yeah, because I was too good for them. So I'm like, I don't know,
But it doesn't have to mean that like you don't have nobility anymore. It's just that you hide that so people don't know that.
Okay,
but,
so I'll have secret money that will come in handy sometimes.
Yes,
and,
but also you get things. So write down noble under your background, and then you're gonna fill in the circles next to history. Under your proficiencies, fill in that circle next to history, and then the other one is persuasion. Both of which are good. So as a noble, you studied history, you know that kind of stuff, and you're persuasive.
Okay.
So with social skills, there's 3 basic social skills: intimidation, persuasion, and deception. Intimidation, I'll give it to you like this. Like, here, pretend that you have the Coke Zero. Intimidation is like, give me the Coke Zero! Right? You're literally using your force of your personality to scare someone into giving you, what you want.
Amanda can do that pretty easily.
Wait,
Okay.
so
And then persuasion is, hey, could you maybe give me the Coke Zero? I'm super thirsty. I'll trade you for this pencil. Like, it's just kind of diplomatic. And then deception is like, are you sure is that your Coke Zero? I'm pretty sure that's my Coke Zero, even though it's not. Or like, didn't you owe me a Coke Zero from the party the other night? Remember? Oh, you were too wasted. Okay, that's mine. So it's like basically lying to get what you want. So those are the 3 social skills. So as a noble, you get that persuasion, which makes sense, right? But as a rogue, you might also want to pick deception. But we'll get there in a minute. Let's go through the rest of your other things.
okay,
So nobles get a tool proficiency in a gaming set.
a gaming set.
So you choose dice, cards.
Oh, cards.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Proficiency in cards. Good. And then you get an additional language. So like you could pick Elvish, and then you guys could speak in Elvish.
Yes.
So you can add that to your languages. So now you have Common, Infernal, Elvish. And then for your equipment, which you're going to write down in the middle here, you have a fine set of clothes, a signet ring, S-I-G-N-E-T. So that's like your noble house's ring. When like nobles like, here's the scroll, and they put the wax, and they're like,
Ooh.
you have that. Now maybe you like keep that shit hidden and only bust that out when you like need to, because you don't want people to know.
It's
that
like on a chain, like hidden under like my clothes or something.
You have a scroll of pedigree. So that's basically like your papers, your passport, like to prove like that you're actually from this noble house. And then 25 gold. So in that gold box, you got 25.
Excuse me.
Now, nobles have the position of privilege called, with the feature called position of privilege, which means that basically, because of your noble birth, people are inclined to think the best of you. You're welcome in high society. Like, you can get into the king's castle or the lord's
And, like,
manor
cool parties
just by
and
like showing
stuff.
your papers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
That
But
could come in handy.
remember that your character, it could come in handy, but
Yeah.
like you kind of keep that low key.
Yeah.
You know. So those are the powers of being a noble, which are pretty nice. Okay, now we get to fill in like the rest of this stuff. Okay. So this top box is called saving throws, and everybody has saving throws. How you calculate your saving throws is kind of based on what class you choose. So I'm going to go through how that works. Okay. So just like the other skills, every class gets proficiency in 2 different saving throws. That means they're good at those kind of like things. Okay. So druids, you have proficiency in intelligence and wisdom. So fill in the circle next to those. Intelligence and wisdom. Rogues have proficiency in dexterity and intelligence. So fill in the circles next to those. Okay, now we'll fill in the numbers in just a minute. These are the rest of the skills, okay? So if you look next to any skill, see in parentheses very lightly how it says like something. So
yeah.
like int is intelligence, WIS is whiz, CHA is charisma, STR is strength. You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the way that you calculate a skill's overall bonus is by determining if you have proficiency in it, and then you add in the modifier. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
So you have proficiency in what? Perception?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the modifier for that?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. So what's your wisdom?
20.
So that means that you would take your +3
Okay.
plus 5, and then your total for perception is what?
28.
No, just the little
Oh.
number.
5 or
Yeah.
5.
So +8.
Okay.
See how I calculated that?
Yeah.
So write in a little +8 next to perception.
Okay.
So when I say, hey, make a perception check, roll. You roll a d20, you add in 8, and you tell me your total. What's your total? 25. Good. You know how I got so good at basic math? This game right here, buddy. All right, so that's how any skill check works. Okay? So we're going to go through and add those up, but before we do that, you guys get to actually pick more proficiencies based on your class. You'll get it. You'll pick all this stuff up. All right, so, Amanda, ready? You get to choose 4 different skills to add proficiency to.
Why?
Because rogues get more skills than anyone else. Because they don't cast spells, for one. They're kind of basic in that regard. But they kind of study a little bit of everything. So
Okay.
rogues get up to 4. Now, what do you already have proficiency in based on being a noble?
Just persuasion and history.
Okay, so let's think about this. Do you want to be sneaky?
Of course.
Of course. So fill in the circle next to stealth. So that's one of your 4. Do you want to be able to bump into people and steal shit? Or do like tricks like this, like, you want the dice back? What dice?
Oh my god, yes.
That's called sleight of hand. So go ahead and fill in that circle. Another one that you might want, because you have a pretty decent charisma, is deception. That's your ability to bluff or lie your way out of things.
Of course.
That's 3. Now, do you have acrobatics yet? Do you want to be able to do parkour-like things and run across the top of a roof and be sneaky like a ninja?
Well, duh.
Okay, so fill that in.
Okay.
Now that gets
So
you,
those are my
those are
4.
your 4, right? See how easy that was?
Yeah.
We'll calculate the numbers in a minute,
Alright.
right? But that's basically your skill set. That's what you're kind of good at.
Oh,
Druids.
so cool.
Druids. Druids get to choose. Oh wait, did I tell you that you have proficiency in herbalism, Kit? No. Write that down. Herbalism.
What kind of herbs?
So basically, if you get an herbalism kit, you know how to like use it to make like medicinal things. Like if somebody's got like an infection, you could be like psh, and help cure them, and other things too, like antidotes. Like you could make antidotes for poisons and stuff. All right, so you druids get to choose 2 additional skills.
Okay.
So what do you have from your background already? Acrobatics?
Acrobatics, perception, and performance.
Okay. So performance and acrobatics come from your background. Perception comes from being an elf. You get to choose 2 more from this list. Arcana, animal handling, insight, medicine, nature, perception, religion, and survival. So much pressure. Do you want to know what all those do?
Yeah.
Okay, so Arcana is a knowledge, an intellectual or academic knowledge of like the mystical and the magical. Nature is also a knowledge-based skill of like flora, fauna, herbs, what food is edible, what's not edible. But not just that, like terrain related to nature, right? Survival is literally just like survival. You're good out and about in the woods. You know how to build a shelter. You know how to build fires. You can gather food and fish and all that stuff. Religion is a knowledge of religion. Perception you already have. Medicine is a knowledge of medicine. Like how to make it, what different medicines do, that kind of stuff. Insight might be good for you because you have a massive wisdom.
That's what I was thinking.
So insight perception is basically like while you're walking around, your ability to like spot things, smell, hear, taste. Insight is human interaction. So it's your ability to tell someone's intent, tell whether they're lying. So with a 20 wisdom, insight would be dope for you. You're like a human lie detector. And then animal handling is more like if you actually want to have a pet. Every time you make a check for animal handling, that determines like if your pet like does what you need it to do. But it also does like other things like horseback riding. Like if you want to be proficient in just being able to ride a horse.
Do not pick that one just because you want animals.
If you want to have like a hawk or a pet dog.
You could have a
that follows you
griffin.
around.
Wait, do griffins exist in
They
this?
do, but
Phoenixes?
they're intelligent animals. Yes, all of those things exist in D&D, but they're intelligent and they're not like animal handling animals. They'd be like,
They're not domesticated.
Yeah,
That makes sense. I respect
you could
that.
become friends with a griffin,
I would love.
but that takes a little work in the game.
Gotcha.
I'm determined.
Okay, but animal handling is like your start if you wanted to have like a pet who you could train, like to do, to go scouting with you or to go on adventures.
Yeah, a
with you
horse
or
would be
whatever.
cool.
Also, I'm gonna say that survival is handy. You don't necessarily have to take it, but it is a handy thing to have because basically if you guys are out and about with like no supplies, like you're the person who can get people through it.
Yeah. Also with nature, is it like
nature's a good thing and it's wisdom based too.
Would you be able to like know where you are kind of and like would it help you from like getting lost?
Yes. I'm gonna specifically read what nature does for you.
Okay.
Because
That's what I was thinking.
sometimes
I was
it's
thinking
confusing.
nature.
Actually, nature is intelligence based. What's your intelligence?
10.
Your intelligence nature check measures your ability to recall lore about terrain, plants, and animals, the weather, and natural cycles. Survival is wisdom based. Survival is like tracking, like following tracks, hunting, guiding your group through places, identifying signs of creatures that live nearby, predicting the weather, avoiding quicksand, that kind of stuff.
I pick survival for sure.
Okay, so survival. So those are your 2. All right, now how does all this stuff get added up? So what you're gonna do is go through this list from top to bottom. If you don't have a black circle, if you don't have proficiency, all you do is look at the thing and add in the modifier. So your strength save would be -1, both of you.
Okay.
Rip. Dex save. So what's your modifier for Dex?
+3.
So you write in +3. Now, if you have proficiency, then you're going to add in your proficiency bonus. In this case, both of you have +3, plus your modifier. So, Amanda, what do you have proficiency in for saving throws? Move your hand, I can't see.
Wait.
Yeah, so you have dexterity proficiency, which means you have a +6 for dexterity. Because you add in your...
Oh, because I have that. And
Yes,
then those. Okay.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So if there's a black dot next to it, you add
Then you
3
add
more
that,
to whatever
and
the
then
thing is.
Got you.
Okay? So just do your saving throws first.
So like for Constitution, since I don't have it like marked, I would just do +2.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. Oh my god, wow, look at us learning.
Look at you guys learning how to D&D.
Yes.
Then you're going to do the same thing going down your skills.
Okay.
So if you have proficiency in it, you add the +3 to whatever the thing in parentheses says. So you have acrobatics, right?
Yes.
So you got a +6.
Okay.
Now what's animal handling? What's that modifier? What does it say? Wisdom?
Yeah.
So what's your wisdom?
Would it be +5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is still pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Even though you don't have the bonus of the proficiency. So you're going to go down the line, look at what's in the parentheses. If you have proficiency, you're going to actually add that in.
Okay.
Now the funny thing is there are programs that do all this for you on the computer, but then you don't learn. So that's why we're doing it on
It's
paper.
okay. I like it. I like the hands-on
Yeah.
experience.
Yes.
It's what makes it so much more fun.
For like the first 10 years of my life in D&D, all the characters were just made on notebook paper.
Ooh.
Nice.
Or if you were a supreme nerd, you had graphing paper.
Yeah. There's like, we have a box for D&D like at my house and it's just full of graphing paper.
See? Graphing paper.
Oh, Timothy.
Actually, it was my mom.
Oh, my bad,
Come
my
on.
bad.
And she was probably like, let me just get out the graphing paper to map out the dungeon that we're in, because that's a thing. You'll see.
Okay.
All right, so you've gone through. And now, as you can see, there are some things that you're okay at, some things that you're not so good at, and some things that you're really good at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of a reflection of reality for most people. So, you get more free things. I know you thought it was done,
I love
but
free
it's
things.
not. So, you get to choose, turn to page 66, and you get to choose your starting equipment to add on to your list of equipment.
Okay.
So up there where it says equipment, so you can choose a wooden shield and any simple weapon, leather armor, explorer's pack, and druidic focus. So you get to choose. Yeah, so basically you would write down like wooden shield, leather armor, explorer's pack, and then you can either have a scimitar or any simple weapon like a
Scimitar?
club.
Okay.
You'll get better stuff.
Okay.
Just write down that stuff.
Okay.
Okay, Manda, you also, as a rogue, get free things.
Fun.
Because free things. Manda, you get to write down leather armor, 2 daggers, thieves' tools, a burglar's pack. Burglars.
You like that word or what?
Yeah. A rapier, R-A-P-I-E-R.
Do you know what that is?
So, let me describe the swords, because I don't think they have pictures in this book. But
Oh, but it's a type of sword.
yeah, so basically, like, you've got a dagger, which is, longer than a knife. Okay? And then you've got a short sword, which is a shorter sword. Then you have a long sword, right? A rapier is like the thing that you see people fencing with. It's like a skinning sword. So
Gotcha.
a sword, most swords are slashing weapons. It means you go like,
But that's like for dueling, like.
so rapiers are piercing
Yeah.
weapons. You don't slash, because that would just be like,
Yeah.
It's poke.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to stab through your lungs so
Gotcha,
you can't
gotcha.
breathe and you die. So a rapier is a finesse weapon, meaning you
like
use your dexterity.
And then you just like.
Yeah. So when we get into the combat stuff, I'll explain how that works. But like most swords, like long swords are slashing weapons and they use strength. Rapiers are finesse, and daggers are finesse because they're small and they're lightweight, and you're like,
Yeah.
and you just
You gotta be
stabby stab.
quick. Stealthy.
Oh my god.
Okay. Just when you thought that we were done, because I actually did thought we were done, and then I remembered something. Rip. There's a thing that we have to choose for you, Assassin Lady, and that is expertise.
Oh.
Ooh.
So all rogues get to choose 2 skills that they have expertise in. And for those 2 skills, you double your proficiency bonus. So your expertise. Get it?
Okay.
You're not just proficient, you are expert. Right? But they also, at 6th level, get to choose 2 more.
Ooh.
So at 1st level, they get expertise. At 6th level, they get 2 more. So basically, you're going to pick out 4 things that you want to be really good at. So
And,
you
like,
have
skills
to.
or what?
The rule is you have to have proficiency in them first. So they have to have a black dot.
Okay.
Okay, number 1. Number 2, you can choose any of these kits that you have proficiency with to have expertise in. So if you wanted to have expertise in disguise or thieves' tools or poison, okay, you can choose those. So you can mix and match. So like, let's look at what are your favorite thief skills that you chose?
Okay.
You chose stealth. You chose sleight of hand, acrobatics, and one more, I don't remember. Deception.
Deception.
Okay.
Yes.
So
As well as
just as an
persuasion.
example,
well,
pick
no, I
one
didn't
of
pick
those.
that one. Persuasion.
No,
Or wait, no.
Deception.
What? Deception.
okay,
Deception.
so let's say deception,
Yeah.
right? What's your current plus to deception?
3. No, it should be 6 though because I.
It should be
didn't-
6,
yeah, I
but
didn't
if you
add
put
it.
expertise in that, you know what it would be? 9.
Oh
So
my
you don't
God.
want, now, if you're gonna put expertise, I want you to write down EX next to it.
Okay.
And that includes any of those things down there. So you get 4 total.
Okay. So, wait.
So if you do that in deception, deception becomes 9.
Okay.
Okay? If you do it in stealth or sleight of hand, same thing. It's
Okay,
gonna
but
become
what
9.
about one of like these?
You can put it in any of those
I
too.
just get to put like.
You get
expertise.
3 more that you get to choose from. You just write EX next to it, and then
Okay,
I'll tell you what
so
number to put.
I'm going to do poisoner kit.
Okay,
as
so
well.
Poisoner Kit
So,
is going to be 6 because you're doubling your proficiency bonus. Plus, what's your intelligence bonus?
3. So.
So 9. So you'd have plus 9 total, right? Plus 9 next to it. Okay, what else? You got Thieves' Tools and Disguise. Or Stealth, Sleight of Hand.
What exactly is sleight of hand again?
Okay. Sleight of Hand is basically like,
I
it's
really like
pickpocketing. Like if you want to bump someone and
okay,
steal
yeah.
things. It's also like concealing, right? So like you could be like, somebody's like, drop that dagger. You could be like, what dagger? Because it's up your sleeve.
Okay.
Like that sleight of hand.
Like,
I
did
think-
you ever watch Rio? Do you remember that movie Rio? And they were like the little monkeys that would like steal stuff from the
Yes.
tourists.
Yes.
I'm gonna be like the little monkeys.
Okay, so then you have sleight of hand of 9, which is massive. All right, so how many have you used? 3?
3.
You get
So I
one
get one
more.
more?
So write down EX next to sleight of hand.
Oh yeah.
Change that to plus 9.
Okay.
And then you get one more to pick from.
What do
from
you
your thiefy skills.
either a thieves kit or.
How does
or
like
stealth.
languages benefit you? Like, does it really at all?
It does, yeah. I mean, but that's more role playing. It's not something that you put expertise in because
Yeah.
you don't have to roll for a language. If you have it, you have it.
Oh, okay.
So like your choices would basically be like, yeah, like what Abby said, like
Yeah, I would
Thieves'
say
tools.
tools.
Thieves' Tools is a good choice.
Yeah, I would say tools.
Because basically, anytime you go somewhere where you're going to want to infiltrate, you're picking locks.
Yeah.
Or if you're like on an adventure and you find a treasure chest and it's locked.
Ooh.
Okay. So.
Okay, so then
What
that is
is
also
that?
plus 9.
Okay.
Okay, so you got all your expertise. You guys have equipment. And the only thing left is to just kind of determine some little details and literally all of your spells, which takes too long.
Okay.
So we'll do that off camera.
Okie dokie.
The last thing for you guys to do is name your characters, which we'll also do off camera because that's a thing that we'll
Okay.
do. So you can think about that. And the next time you see Amanda and Abby will be when we're at the big table playing
Yes.
D&D.
Oh my god. I'm
Thanks
so
for watching,
excited.
everybody. We'll see you soon for season 4. Peace out. Love you. Bye.